Hello, and welcome back to my Starminer campaign guide. This video is part 3 of the mini-series, and I'd like to start by saying a heartfelt thank you for all the love and support that part 1 has received. It is truly appreciated. As of the time of recording this video, part 2 has been published for about 3 hours and is already hot on part 1's heels, which is great to see. So what's in store for us in part 3? Well, we'll be continuing our progress toward the campaign objectives. In addition, there were several great suggestions in the comments, a couple of which we'll address momentarily. Please understand that this is meant to be a guide to help players find their way through the beginning of the campaign in its current early access state. It is not intended to be a best possible start kind of video. I prefer to leave you with enough information to make your own design and efficiency choices and to have fun with Starminer the way you like to play. So with that said, game on. Alright, where last we left off, we have put together our refining rig or station. Up here we have our mining and construction vehicle, our starter rig. Down there, Mining Ship 1. We have RS-1 here. We did some renaming last time out. And there's a couple of points before we progress towards the next major objectives, which there is a worthwhile reason to do. I want to just cover a couple of points from the last video. One of which, very importantly, was the orientation of the refining station. You may recall that after we attached a few things to it, the orientation automatically changed, I believe, after we put the second of 3 modules on. And it was a little bit, yeah, not confusing. It's fine, you can fly it, you can play, no problem. But I couldn't remember, I didn't know how to change the orientation. I've had a couple of helpful comments and also seen a video on the matter. And the way you do it is simply you turn your orientation tool back off. Down here on the bottom you have a button next to the orientation tool which you click. It has no keyboard shortcut. It brings up the orientation tool, but this time instead of moving your ship around, when you use WASD or Q&E, you're going to move either the horizontal plane orientation, the red arrows if you can see the colors, or the vertical one, you can rotate it round. So if we press A, for example, you'll see it's moving those red arrows at the front, which denote which way is kind of the forward of the ship, the bow. It's moving those around, so we've now reoriented that to the front there, what feels naturally like the front to me anyway, and that's it. If you used Q&E, as I said here, you can rotate this upper part, but we want to leave that nice and flat there. I'm happy with that. And then just simply press that gimbal button again, and hey presto, it's done. So that's adjusting your orientation or your gimbal. Now when we press N, you can see that stays there, and we now have a nice forward like that, backward, and so forth, and the side of the ship is once more the side of the ship and not the front. So that was the first thing that I wanted to show. I learned that from another creator's video on the Tubes of You. I'm going to try and look that up in parallel so I can give you the person's name. I'll put a link in the description actually to their video because it really helped me. So there we go. Thank you to that fellow creator. Now, the next point that I wanted to look at, that wasn't so much from the comments but just generally a useful thing to know. I'm not an expert on this. I haven't watched any videos or anything like that on it yet, but just from sort of playing around and trying to get a feel for it, there is trade automation as a function in the game, and that allows you to set up kind of repeating trade or transport jobs, if you will, between your vessels. So here in this example we have our mining ship, and we are ending up with a whole load of chunks on board which need to be processed at the refinery. In this case we've got 34 chunks of silicate that we're continuing to mine from over here, and rather than set up a manual job each time, as I showed you in the previous video where we did right click trade, rather than that we're going to do right click on the refinery ship and we're going to click Trade Automation. Now we're going to choose the From station, so Mining Ship 1, the To station, RS-9. We're going to say Requested Resource, and in here, rather cunningly, there is all chunks, because we're not doing any refining on board here, at the current time at least. And we're going to say amount. Now here I'm not sure exactly what we should program in, but I'm just going to put 10. And condition, no condition set. You can set up like if the ship has less than a certain amount, that kind of thing. That could be handy if we're wanting to retain some water on board for processing locally, for example. We might get into that later. But anyway, or if the ship has more than a certain amount, then send the excess across to the other ship, that kind of thing. Don't worry about all the other bits. Actually, we've got repeat when condition is met. We haven't got any condition set, so it's fine. Repeat interval, and then you can set how much time between each interval. But in this case, we can just, I believe, hit set. And you'll see a box pops up in the top right of the screen, just to the left of objectives, saying logistics. Every time one of those jobs is triggered and something starts moving across, you'll see a logistics box pop up there dynamically, and then it'll go away again in between the jobs, so it won't forever be up on the screen. And that's a nice trigger for you visually. Every once in a while you can glance up there and see something happening, then you know that there's a logistics job. The same kind of box that pops up when you're doing a selling, transporting between your ships and that kind of thing, but it also shows up, obviously, it's any kind of logistics job. So there you go. That's how you can set up trade automation between your vessels, and that will just keep repeating now until such time as we turn it off. If you wanted to stop it, you can click the X up there to just cancel the job, or down at the very bottom left you can click on the operational interface, or I believe you can just pull that up by pressing the tab key. Yep. And then go to automation tab, and in here you'll see each of the jobs if they're currently running, and then you can close the request down. You can see now that it's disappeared. Again, maybe something that'll get a quality of life pass going forward, but right now that job's disappeared. So either we could fly off out of range or we can wait till the next job is triggered and then cancel it next time. So I believe I didn't set the repeat this time. I am curious. When I tested this earlier, I did set up a repeat condition. I wonder if that's actually cancelled that job now. Maybe it has. Let's have a look. Trade automation. Yeah, let's set that up again. So mining ship 1, RS1, requested resource, let's say all chunks, no condition. So repeat when condition is met. Mining ship has more than one. Okay. We put a 10 in here before, so I'm just going to say set. Because I did notice that we still had 36 on board, so I would have thought that they'd still be sending. Okay, so anyway, that's set up another of these jobs, and these come out in these little delivery boxes again. Okay, so that's how you can do that one. The next thing we're going to do, in order to start preparing, because we're going to go and make a jump with the big ship. And now I did advise you, and it's still my recommendation generally, not to progress too fast with the campaign objectives. However, there is a sneaky little benefit if we do progress briefly on the objectives at this stage and then run away again, and I'll explain more as we get there. So I'm going to do a couple of things in order to kind of prepare and get as ready as possible. One of the things I'm going to do is just check our research, and we should have what is it on the, here it is, on the general. We've got a tier 2 research lab available to us, and at the moment we have 0 research available. I actually just noticed we've got a flashing level up, so I'm going to pick a perk. When you level up, your character flashes in the top left hand corner, and you get 3 randomly selected perks from those which are not yet already assigned to your character. These, I believe this is RNG, and you get to, you know, pick one of those, per level up, you'll also unlock a bunch of tech. That doesn't mean that you've got access to it immediately. That means it's available for you to do research into based on the research conditions. So select perk, Gauss targeting system training, so 30% mass driver range. We don't have that weaponry. Increase mining speed by 30% and ionite fuel optimization 30%. I'm going to choose increase mining speed because at the moment we're just doing lots and lots of mining. There we go. Oh, we actually have another one to choose from. Okay. So, advanced refinement techniques, increase refining speed by 30%, plasma cannon range 30%, efficient industrial storage. Okay. So, the refining efficiency feels quite intriguing. However, I'm quite happy to let our refining ship just chug away in the background. In efficient industrial storage, if this comes up on your options, I recommend you take that one. And you will see, give it a moment or two to kick in. There we go. On the left-hand side now, you can see that our storage space has gone from 1,000 to 1,300 for absolutely free on our mining ship. And that's going to come in super, super handy. Right, so these jobs are now repeating. So it looks like you did need that repeat condition regardless. And I've shown you how to set it up now, so away you go. Wonderful. I'm going to do one more thing before we go away. We're going to check. We've got 2,536 hectoliters of water out of 3,300 max. So I'm going to fill up my mining ship with water. And I remember that I mentioned docking as the other transference method between your ships. And I remember then subsequently not showing you docking. So I'm going to just briefly show you the docking procedure. It's essentially the same thing as merging, except you carefully use the left-hand option to dock and not the merging option. Watch me mangle this now and have to restart from the save game because I accidentally merged my ships. So we're going to get ourselves kind of nice and squared away in front here. Slowly approach across. We've got our linears on, so we're not going to slam into it. Okay, now you don't want to click merge. You want to click dock station. Boop. And it will do this cool little animation here. Draw us in nice and safe. There we go. We are now docked. We have an undock option, which looks the same as dock. And we have the merge options, so we're going to avoid pressing anything in that area. And what we're going to do is right click to do a normal trade. And we're going to withdraw this time water, and it will bring up the full, basically it'll calculate the amount that you've got available, 287 of based on the space that you have. We're going to confirm that. We're going to confirm that trade, and look, almost instantaneous. Like half a second or whatever. Depends on how much you're transferring and all the rest of it. But essentially it's almost instantaneous that switches across. So there you go. That's how to do docking and a direct transfer of resources between your ships. What I will also do is I'm going to quickly dump off the rest. So I'm going to deposit the rest of the silicate chunks because that's just taking up space on board, so that should get rid of them. And some of them still being collected by haulers, so that's why there's a little bit of an odd number left over. And the other thing we want is before we progress with this mission, we're going to need the water, so we've transferred that across. We've got 600 on board. We're also going to need some processed resources in order to do some construction work when we get to the next zone. So without spoiling too much, we're going to need 180 iron or Fe minimum. We've got 222. 180 silicates. So again, the process variant, we've got 9, so we need to pick up some more. 60 cobalt, we have 100. And 20 thorium, we have exactly 20. Now I'm going to right click, trade, withdraw. I'm going to withdraw the silicates I need. So we need 180. I'm going to build in a bit of a buffer and take 300. Since we have this buffed storage, that's now possible. The cobalt, I'm just going to top up a little bit. There's only 70 extra on board. We'll take all of it. We don't have any extra iron, but luckily we have more than the 180 we need to have a bit of a buffer there. And then thorium, well, we have tons of that. So I'm going to just pick up another, let's say 80. Take around 100 with us. I hope this will be all in all enough. So confirm trade. You'll then see, there we go. That's all popped across nicely. So we have 229, 133, 133, 100, 30 Eonite, which we don't, well, we can put that in our big ship. And we still have the silicate chunks there, the 6. So let's just do a quick deposit. Silicate chunk 6, confirm, and empty those off. They should go. Okay, and we still ended up with 1, so there we go. So having done that and collected all the resources we need, we are going to oh, I realized I just made a small mistake. I wanted to also build a science lab to start building up some research. So research lab tier 2, I'm just going to put it on the back there. That takes 100 Fe, 50 silicate and 10 cobalt, as well as 10 extra personnel. Well, we have those available not working, so that's fine. One thing that we might end up being a bit tight on then is the 100. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? We're going to have to mine out some additional iron if we want to do that. Ha! I was not prepared for that circumstance. Okay, so we could mine some more iron. I think what we're going to do potentially instead is we could add, let's see, how much would this cost us? A tier 1 refinery is 30, so that would fit in our budget, as it were, and 20, that part's easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw on a tier 1 refinery onto the ship, because that's going to give us some flexibility when we make the jump and get to the other side. We won't have this big refining ship. If we don't find debris, but we do find asteroids, then we could pick up some bits and bobs and just do some processing. This might also give us a bit of a temperature issue when it's running.
Construction completed.
If it does, then we can add another thermal radiator. So there we go. We're going to remember that your refinery at the moment won't be processing anything unless we tell it to actually do so. So we have to turn off the build mode and then right click on the refinery. So we're going to undock, and what we're going to do is fly over to our big boat, and we're going to go to do the jump to the next sector. So I didn't realize I didn't have any more iron. If I had realized that, I might have picked some up and let it process in the background. But anyway, there is some here on several of the rocks. So again, we have a refinery on board now. We would now be able to process some if we needed to. I didn't go to a tier 2 and all the rest of it. I want to keep the slots available. And again, this isn't an ideal playthrough. This is just, you know, this will work. Let's go. And you can do things much better with the information I provide you with. You'll be able to build on from that and go from strength to strength. At least that's the intention of this video. So let's move across here. We have the commander ship still docked aboard. Now, we're going to follow a main objective, and I'm going to make something hopefully abundantly clear as part of this. I mean, hopefully we'll make everything clear as part of this, but you know, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would meet the goal. Okay, up a little bit. There we go, it's green. Oh, now I flew out of it again. There we go, it's green. Okay, so we're going to dock the station. Or should I go and get some iron now? No, I think we'll risk it for the biscuit and we'll see what happens. So we're going to dock with the hangar ship. There we go. So we now have the two ships docked here, the mining ship and the commander. We're going to exit, which leaves them safely tucked up inside. And we have the objective, travel to Europa. So the bit where I said don't do this yet still stands, and you can happily keep plugging away and refining and building up all your resources, build your ships bigger, build up weaponry on the commander, do all the sensible things. That's what I would normally advocate, but just for the sake of showing you what happens with the next steps, we're going to go to Jupiter, we're going to pick Europa and the Loqui Station, and we're going to travel there. Again, that's 20 ionite or eonite, however you say it, out of the 100 we have. So we're going to click travel. We're going to zoom across and see what happens. Analysis. We have arrived at Europa. Objective. Panonia II has informed you of an abandoned research facility. Locate the Loqui Station. Now, I'm going to very specifically turn the HUD off, show you Jupiter, show you Europa. Wonderful. And for no particular reason, look at that area over there, what sort of looks relatively to be just off to the right shoulder of Jupiter. There's a station over there. We're going to not worry about that. And then there's our objective over there. So just keep in mind, roughly have a picture in the back of your mind how that all looks. Nice and serene, right? Nothing going on there whatsoever. So we're going to grab our mining ship and undock it. There we go. I'm going to click on there to take control of it. We're going to lower down so that we have the proximity warning, so we're not going to slam into anything. And we're going to turn around. And any moment now, I'm going to just keep turning. Okay, oversteered. Classic. We are fairly heavy because we have a lot of storage on board. Okay, here we go. So we want to fly towards this objective over here. I'm just going to hold the space bar for a second and just get us kind of stable. And then we can fly in the direction we want to go with under a bit more stabilized trajectory. Here we go. So now this is one of the things that's been tweaked since the latest update. I detect no heat signatures, Captain. Loqui Station is abandoned. Okay, so we need to transfer water across, but the first objective is to gain some water, and this is why we took it with us in the first place, so we have plenty to give away. It wants us to build a drill. So this is the primary reason, the main reason that you want to come here, even when I said don't go too far into the objectives. The reason you want to do this is because this will unlock the drill technology for you for completely free. And that's quite a big thing, as you'll see as we progress. So it wants you to build a separate unit off in space, which would mean building a Hulk, building the drill to fit onto it, and then building some power and generation, maybe some batteries, that kind of thing, so that you had that to fly around. There are, at this juncture, there are two options. You can do that, or the alternative is you could build the Hulk onto another Hulk onto the front, because the drill is so large it won't, it needs an area of operation for it. It won't fit onto the one that you have on the front of your ship. You can add a Hulk onto here and then add the drill onto the front of that. That will block off your usual docking point here, but you will have a new Hulk here, or actually here you might be able to dock. There's kind of pros and cons to both. One of the... I'm just going to hit P and sort of put the game in super slow mode for a moment so that I'm not burning too much time. I'll explain in a second. The pros of putting it on your ship is you already have all the power and everything else there. So you might have a little bit of heat dissipation issues, in which case you can build another thermal radiator, but it will cost you less resources to do that, because the resources we brought would be enough to build the Hulk, build the drill, and not much more than that. Although we do have the refinery now, so we could go and refine some metals over here if we need them. The alternate I've not actually tried in testing, so it's possible we would have enough to build the Hulk and the drill, and then some solar cells on there, as well as maybe some batteries, and move it around. The advantages of building as a separate unit are that the way the drill works is the drill latches onto an asteroid, and then you just leave it there, just chugging away. So the downside of putting it onto our starter ship is, if we want to use that drill, it's going to lock our ship into that position. That said, it's not necessarily a bad option, because you can also use your mining lasers and speed up the overall mining operation with it. I'm going to try building a separate unit for the drill, and then that will be one of the 3 vessels that we'll be able to take back to our mothership, our hangar ship. Now, looking over there, nothing has appeared, so everything's fine so far. We're going to now build the drill and see what happens. So we start with going into build mode. Click down here or press B. Click on build point. There we go. It's appeared next to it. Again, it doesn't actually have to be all that far away. It doesn't have to be right on that spot. But as it turns out, that's perfect anyway. Now, you can build the drill mount immediately. Then you could move your ship towards it and try to kind of dock with it, merge with it. Again, you'd have to build an extra Hulk on the front anyway. Or in this case, we're going to build the Hulk and then build the drill off of that. Now, I need to press P to unpause the game. So we're going to be using our building laser, which is great. Plus our little builder bot is going out there to help as well. I'm hoping we can get away with this without having to mine, because I want to spend as little time in this region as possible. Okay, so I have clicked on to this one. I'm going to press build.
Upgrade complete.
Upgrade complete. Okay, I'm going to then do the mount and drill node. We're going to build that on there. And now this message comes up. Heading back to Loqui Station will leave the mining drill vulnerable to attack. I detect no hostile signatures. However, that may not always be the case. Construct a combat-capable ship to guard the mining drill. So, station a combat-capable ship near the mining drill. So, in order to do that, we're going to go to our commander. We're going to undock it, which we can do remotely from over here. Then we're going to click on the commander, because again, that's our combat-capable vessel. And we're going to bring that down. Now, when we come off the mothership, one thing I did notice, our batteries are completely empty. So that's going to need some time, since we're out of nuclear fuel currently. That's going to need some time to charge up. So, again, with your linear dampeners off, it won't take too long to get that back in order, but just keep in mind that you are low on power while you're gliding across. You might need a bit of time to let your batteries...
Construction completed.
Okay, so now the next step is triggered. So we have an armed vessel in the area. Why would we need an armed vessel though, Grumbles? Curiouser and curiouser. So we're going to bring this to a halt here. There we go. Next thing we're going to do is... So currently this has very little power. We could send energy from here to there. What we'll try to do though is just on this ship build, let's say, at least one solar panel. I hope we've still got enough resources left.
Construction
We have.
completed.
Okay, so we're getting a little bit tight on resources, I guess. Yeah, only 7 iron left. So there we go. But now this ship can build up power. It doesn't have any batteries to store them, but at least it's mobile now. Oh, it's kind of facing the wrong way around from what I was expecting, but we now know we can fix that by clicking the gimbal button, and we can just turn that around because I would rather have the drill being the front. There we go. Easy money. There we go. That's nice and lined up, isn't it? Yep. There we go. Nice. Click the gimbal button again. Perfect. Okay. So we've built the drill, and if we wanted to, we could go over here. There's probably some iron on there. In fact, we could go with the mining ship, and we could scan it, in fact, before we transfer the water. That's what we'll do. That's a good idea.
Scanners
And turn our scanners on. We're going to drop down a little bit below the mining drill bit. And we're going to go... We go in the multi-fleet route over here. This is fantastic. Phenomenal. Normally my tendency is to build one big old ship that does everything. The Swiss Army knife or whatever. So there's iron and silica on here. Phenomenal. And now we're scanning. So we'll just bring her to a standstill here. I'm going to get some extra iron and that, and I can get that processed on my ship. We could just take it with the lasers and refine it. But I might as well show you the drill operation. I hope we're going to have enough time to do that. There I go again. See, talking about time, and I haven't explained it all. I'm trying not to spoil it. Okay, so we're going to come over here. We're going to fly towards...
Warning, low energy.
Okay, low energy again, because we only have that one solar panel. Okay, we were just about able to stop there. Whoops. Okay, we're fine. Will this... I think this work. Does this work without crew? That's a good question, actually. I didn't check that out beforehand. So, this is why I should do test runs before I start doing
Warning, low energy.
Yeah. That's okay. Oh, how's the drill gonna work with such low energy as well? That's interesting. So, in theory, when you get close enough, a symbol will appear on here. I don't know if this is this should be close enough already. Oh, there it is. Oh, there you go. So the distance was 75 meters, I guess. So this symbol appears. We're now going to click that symbol, and look at this. You get this awesome animation. The drill is going to go in there and start working. And I've just realized I've made a mistake because I've got no storage on here or anywhere to put any of that stuff. Do you know, the best laid plans of mice and men, I might... Oh, if these are two separate ships, then I could not merge it, but I could attach it. That's...
Scanners
I
offline.
have a cunning plan. I have a cunning plan. That's what we're going to do. We're going to connect, we're going to dock these two ships, but not merge them. The reason being, I want to have a dedicated kind of drill rather than have my Swiss Army knife, my utility belt tied to a rock for forever. Let's have a look here. How close we are. We're pretty close. I think I'll be able to dock these. Yes. Okay. So again, we're going to dock, but not merge. I wonder if that'll count. That's not going to count, is it? It's not. It's attached. Oh wait, no. I've remembered what it is. I have to right click on that and click engage. There we go. Is that going to work? Offline? No. Engage. Output full. Oh, it needs its own storage. I have bamboozled myself. Anyway, right. We don't really need to worry about all of this right now. Okay, so I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to click on management and I'm going to press detach. And that detaches us from the rock. There we go. Oh, it's also detached us from the other ship. Ah. I did not expect that. That's the first time I've done that, so that's interesting. Okay, all right. Again, I don't want to merge it because I don't want to... I don't want them to be one and the same right now. Whoa, they're behaving really weird. It's almost as if they are still thinking they're connected. Oh, they are. Whoa, when I move the one, it moves the other. Okay. Hold up. Now what's going on? Now it is. Now I click dock and it's undocked. Okay, so top tip. Don't do the detach thing on the mining drill when you... when you're docked with another ship. That seems to confuse matters. Okay, so now if I click this one and I move it, it moves independently. Okay, wonderful. All right, well, what we'll do is... that's just... But I wanted to see if I could show you... I'll show you the mining drill working later on. I just can't show you it right now. So what we'll do is... we will connect up again. Just to carry it with us because it'll be more convenient to move around. And I'm going to show you momentarily why I'm very, very keen on not being here too long. So dock with that station and we can just move it around more easily. Wonderful. And then the next step is to transfer 200 tons of water, of which we still have 583. So again, make sure you come here with plenty of water because you don't want to be faffing around trying to refill things when there's a time pressure. And once we do this, I believe, well, the ship is really awkward in terms of movement now because of the big drill on the front, but not being the same station as it were. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this blue thing. And again, don't dock with it and do it. You have to do it via remote. So trade with them. We're going to go sell, even though, well, we are selling. We'll get water for it. Click on our water. Make sure to click in the amount box. Type in 200, confirm, and confirm the trade. You'll get money for that. We now have just under 12,000. That's awesome. Okay, no sign of any trouble yet. Just looking over my shoulder. We'll move a little bit closer because it's going to reduce some of the flight time. Now, one of the commenters did mention that we can use the tier 1 cargo bays because at the moment they kind of have the same efficiency as the tier 2s, and in that case, I mean, these ones came pre-built anyway on the modules we grabbed, but for anything else like the refining station, that way you only have to use up a small docking bay and you can build more of them on a Hulk node. But I would anticipate that might change in the future. Otherwise, what would be the point, I guess? Other than, I guess, for flavor, having the tier 1 and the tier 2. So yeah, this does fly a bit awkwardly, but it will allow us to detach the drill vessel later on. If we had more material on us, we would, and we might even have enough to build a battery. Okay, so Loqui Station is now online, have full access to its systems. The research team initiated a memory wipe but abandoned the station before it could complete. Okay, continue. Some research logs, sorry, are partially intact. Would you like to view them? Yes. So there's some more story for you. Pause it if you want to read it here, or read it at your leisure when you play through. Continue. The few module schematics that are all that remain, so that's what we're going to get from this. Okay. And now, there's no information left. You can dismantle the mining drill to recover some of its material. You can also dismantle the station without repercussion. I will say that as far as I know, there's no way to dismantle this station right now. I'm not 100% certain, but from the brief discussions I've seen on the Discord, on the official Discord, there has been at least no real formal response on how do we dismantle that station. So it's not possible. But we've gained some additional tech. We've gained a drill, or we've built a drill based on the technology that was given to us. Job's a good one. Now, there's a couple of things that you could do. Well, you have two choices. You can get the heck out of Dodge. That's what I recommend you do, and go back to Earth and now get your drill set up, do some mining, that kind of thing, because the game is trying, or the mission, the objectives are trying to get you to jump to the Ganymede Jupiter Gate, which is about as far as I've been in the game so far. So my recommendation at this point is go back to Earth. So what we're going to do now is turn around and go back, and we can start setting this drill up and having a look at it in sort of peace and quiet, seeing how that works. Your alternate is, or two alternatives are, continue to chase the objective, main sort of story, and go to Ganymede Jupiter Gate. It's not initially bad, and arguably safer than staying at Jupiter. Or you can stay at Jupiter a bit longer, and you can go over to that side quest, as it were, over there, and you'll find a bunch of debris, and you can and basically a little side quest mission will pop up, and you'll be able to follow that. Now, the reason I don't recommend that, especially if you're brand new, if it's like your first playthrough in that, is at some point, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet. So I feel like I'm being super paranoid and not being able to explain to you why. Is ordinarily an absolutely enormous mothership, alien mothership, appears just in orbit around or nearby to Jupiter, and it starts sending wave after wave of enemy our way. Now, I don't know if in this particular run I'm not generating enough heat for that yet. That's a possibility. I don't really have enough information and experience to... Oh, we might slam into this rock.
Warning, hull breach detected.
Oh my god, I just ruined my playthrough. Oh my god, I didn't see that coming. Okay, whoops! Brian, cut the recording! Oh no. I just absolutely ruined everything. I lost the Hulk node that was attached to the drill. And goodness knows what else has been destroyed. Okay, for the purposes of the playthrough, I'm just going to load one of my autosaves. This one is from a couple of minutes ago, before I hit that asteroid. So we're just going to quickly do that and pretend nothing happened. Yeah, so about that drill. We might be better off just detaching it and flying it off to the ship manually. Oh, that's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. You got to be able to laugh at yourself when you make mistakes like that. That's why one of the channel mottos is happy little accidents. Okay, so yeah, the ship is very cumbersome because we didn't merge it. If we had merged it... Oh look, there's that asteroid, another one right below us. If we had merged it, it would be a lot more stable. At least I think so. Anyway, I don't remember it being this front heavy before when I tested it in another scenario. Anyway, let's continue moving over here. Let's be a little bit more careful. Oh, that's the rock we hit over there, I think. Let's be a little bit more careful. We're pretty close to this one now anyway, 1800. So we can probably just hit the brakes and transfer our ship across. I'm really surprised that this mothership isn't here. Either I'm being a lot quicker this time, or I haven't done enough to upset it or whatever. Select dock station, undock station, grab this one, and we're going to fly it. Again, we can have up to 3 ships in the hangar. So we're going to take this little...
Warning, low energy.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as we don't run fully out of energy, we'll be alright. Oh, I should probably turn the linears off on this as well. Actually, I've got to be really careful, because if I run out of energy on this at the wrong moment, yeah, guess what happens? We slam into the mothership. That's not a good result either. My goal, part of my goals for this are to not have too many ships explode during the beginner guide, but it does show you how easy it is.
Warning,
even
low
with
energy.
even with a little bit of experience, how quickly it can go wrong. All right, so we're going to come up here a little bit. Not go too fast. I'm going to put the dampeners on, because I really don't want to make a mistake. And we should be able to. Oh, there we go. I was wondering why it was going to take so long to appear. So we're just going to
low energy.
Glide in here. That's okay. That's low energy, but not no energy. Okay, there we go. We're close enough. And now we're going to just dock to station. That tucks that one away nice and safe. Exit out of there. Wonderful. We'll use that when we get back to Earth. Okay, now we're going to go over to our commander ship. This is the one with the weapons. So we're going to spin this one around and head back to the hangar ship as well. And I think what I will do then is, as we seem to be not under immediate threat, it's really blowing my mind, because a couple of times I've kind of been through here, they've always turned up. So I have no idea why they're being kind enough not to show up at the moment. So what we're going to do is park the commander with the weapons close to our mothership here, our hangar ship, just in case. Because if they do come in, it'll be a pain. We should have enough of a warning anyway. So I want to just go up a little bit here. They tend to come up the top and just start pew-pewing the ship. So we're going to just do that, and then we'll keep an eye out. We'll keep a weather eye out. Okay, so you're completely stopped. Put the dampeners on. We'll get our mining ship. And just to show you, we'll go and have a look at that debris over there, because it is an interesting curiosity. But if the aliens arrive, if they suddenly drop out of hyperspace, I'm going to skedaddle, because they are totally manageable early on, but they start sending more and more of them. You know, it's waves. You know how these things work. And it doesn't take that long to find yourself in quite a lot of trouble. Okay, we're going very, very fast. I'm sort of rushing a little bit here. All right, here we go. This junker looks like an old pirate station. Old pirate storage depot, sorry. before the storage, but the storage unit isn't here. If we can scan it. Okay, accept the mission. Conduct a complete scan. We might find the storage arms transponder signal if it's not too far away. Okay, so we'll turn our scanners on.
Scanners online.
We're already scanning a little bit. We need to do complete scan, it's asking for. So I've got my dampeners turned back on now. The linears, just to make sure that I don't, you know, having already slammed my ship into one object, I'm going to try and avoid doing the same thing. So pirate treasure objective complete. Now, that I believe is intended to trigger another objective, but hasn't done so.
Scanners offline.
I'm not sure if that changed or if it's just part of moving to the next sector. But in any case, what we're going to do is quickly mine some of this, because there is some water there. There's a whole bunch of nice stuff, plus some, you know, this is already processed material, and that's very handy, so we don't have to do any refining. We'll get some water to top up since we gave 200 away. That's going to be very nice. And we'll get a bunch of iron and cobalt and silicates, so we can build some stuff. For example, on that mining drill, we might want to add some more power generation and some batteries and just make it a little bit more of a... and also some metal storage so that it can drill and store what it drills. That would be probably a good idea. So bear with us a moment while we do this, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to hop back aboard the hangar ship, or if the alien mothership that I've talked about, that I've been so nervous about in here, shows up, because normally it would have showed up by now. So again, either I'm being super quick, which I don't really think can be the case, or somehow we've kept our heat under control to the point that we're not attracting them in. Could be the way, because we're never going up to full or anything. Alrighty, we are back at the mothership. There's no sign of the aliens whatsoever. So however I've done it this time, maybe with better heat management by pure accident, in any case, we're going to dock our mining ship. We're going to exit. We're going to go back outside and pick up our commander, and then we're going to skedaddle. Okay, so next steps are we're going to go back to Earth, even though that's going to use up another 20 of the Eonite fuel. That's okay, we did pick some up from that other station that we just harvested. And I want to just set up a couple of things back there around our refinery station and that, and just have a little talk through them. Again, feel free to do it entirely any way you're comfortable with and you're enjoying. If you want to push it a little bit further, go with the main story, that's absolutely gravy. And if you want to just follow along with my recommendations, that's cool too, or do something in between. So the main mission wants us to jump to the Jupiter gate. What we're going to do instead is we're going to press M to go to the map. We're going to go back to the Sol system Earth. We're going to go to the Great Spill where we were. We can enter then, use our refinery ship and do stuff over there, but we're going to travel back at the cost of that Eonite. I might end up regretting that later on, but that's okay. It's a learning exercise. That's returned us back to Earth, and we should be fairly safe. We get a few of these pop-ups, but it's just repeats mission things that you've already seen. Some research logs. Yeah, we've done all this already. So we're just going to click through those. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to undock both our mining ship and I'm going to undock what's called build one, which is our drill. And we're going to take them, in fact, with the resources we gained.
Mining online.
Oh, okay. I clicked on the asteroids. Lasers are on. I didn't think I actually... Oh, I actually right-clicked it because I was using right mouse button to pan the camera. And that's what automatically triggers the mining events sometimes, so that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and with all the iron and silicate and cobalt and everything that we got from that other wreck, we're going to come over to our drill, and we're going to build some more power generation. So build mode plus solar panel, and we're going to build some batteries. Just a couple of, or at least one small, what's that called, energy battery. Boom. And our little construction drone things come out there as well. Okay, I wanted to try to use
Construction completed.
the construction laser, but he's having none of it. For some reason the construction tower's having absolutely none of that building work. Well, that's fine. I don't know if that's an angle thing, or is it because it's within the loading zone onto the hangar ship? Maybe that could be a thing. Okay, so we have double power and a battery, so kind of the minimum that you want. Be able to move without losing power now, so that's good. I wonder why the construction tower thing's not working on here. It is enabled.
Construction online.
Yeah, construction online. Okay. Maybe because the builder, a robot, already picked up all of the necessary resources. Yeah, it's not having any of it. Okay, but we're going to take this drill
Construction
and
completed.
we're going to fly it over to our big refinery area, which is RS-1 over there. There we go, 1000. Now we probably, if we left the dampeners on, we could probably... No, we can't left click that. I thought we could left click that. Let's give this a better name. Rename Drill 1. Just go with simple numbers for now. Not feeling very inventive in the late evening heat. So yeah, we're going to fly this over here and start drilling some of these big rocks. Now what we probably want to do is add a scanner to this so that we can scan what we're looking for. That would probably be like a sensible minimum, even though we can just drill and get whatever. We wouldn't know exactly the right place to latch onto. But yeah, we now have a drill, although we probably already have the one or the other that we've got connected up, right? Not connected up, scanned already. This is just silicates, so we want a bit more than that. We want some iron. We don't know. This is unknown. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll hold that there in position, put T on. We'll go to our mining ship, bring that over. Oops, we need to turn that round. See the symbols up there on the screen, so it's easy to know where to orient to. And a little bit of oversteer again. I'll start heading over here. So yeah, you can start setting that drill up however you want. Connecting it up with as much power, with as much... We need the metal storage as well to make it fully functional. Nearly forgot about that. Probably a good idea to put a cargo bay on it. Maybe a second Hulk node would be a good idea right now. Or maybe just a big old metal storage on the back. And then I showed you the automation earlier. So you'd be able to set some automation jobs up. But let's get this drilling operation going. And And then there's one last thing that I want to build. And that'll wrap up this part 3 for us. With that little bit of an oopsie in the middle. Notwithstanding. Let's not have another one right now. That would be a tragedy.
Mining offline.
Okay, cheeky bit of mining there on the way past that I didn't mean to do. Okay, I'm going to try and get this build laser into play. Whoa, we are spinning out of control. What is going on? Okay. So, bring the nose down a little bit. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's because I turned those dampeners off. Okay. So on here, we want to go build mode. And then we need, as a minimum, somewhere to store. So we could do a tier 1 metal storage. Doesn't give you the capacity there, unfortunately, but that's fine. So we need that as a buffer, as an absolute minimum. There we go, the laser's working in now. Awesome. And then we've left this open so we could add another box on. And then what we probably want to do is, again, taking on board the comments people kindly left. Oh, I don't have any slots left now. I would have put a small cargo bay on. You know what I should have done? I should have put a large...
Construction completed.
I've just thought about this. I should have put a tier 2 metal storage on there. I'm going to turn build mode off. I'm going to right click that simple metal storage there. I'm going to scrap it to get the materials back. Oh, they're going to be...
Construction completed.
They're going to be jettisoned because there's no storage for those metals on board yet, even though this just finished building. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go build, and I'm going to use that comment that I got from somebody, and I'm going to build a tier 1 small cargo bay. There we go. And then this will be able to send resources, automated trade to the refinery.
Construction completed.
Perfect. Okay, you gain some XP from building as well, so it's not the worst thing to have to build a few things up. We've also sent little ships out to go and collect the bits that I jettisoned, so nothing's been lost. Okay, so press N just to check we haven't lost our orientation and whatnot. Marvelous. Ah, yes, and a scanner. I was thinking about a scanner. What if we put that... we can't have it facing forward. We could have it facing up. Not radar. Ah, okay, so we would have to do a small array node. So we build one of those. Again, we got all those free resources from those silly pirates, so might as well use them. And then we want a tier 1 scanner. There we go. Hopefully,
construction completed.
We'll be able to now go see
Scanners online.
Scanners online. That doesn't appear to be working. Oh, we need people. Oh, scanners needs colonists. Colonists need water. Oh, okay. Right click on the big ship. Trade. Withdraw water. I can't withdraw water. I have got a cargo bay. Wait, deposit? No, withdraw. Water. Huh. There's nowhere to store water because that's only metal storage that I've built. Oh, wow. Okay, this is fun. This is, yeah. You can see I've not built too many brand new ships from scratch, so... alright. So what we could do is we could put another bubble on the back there. That's going to give us more build opportunities. But we would also need a small habitat, right? Why are we not able to build a small habitat? Hang on. Ah, that goes on there, that's why. So we need the small habitat for colonists if we want to use the scanner. You know what my recommendation is? Don't overcomplicate your life right now. Just use your scanner
Scanners
from
online.
your other ship, which is already close enough as it is to scan that big rock. Perfect. So we'll scan it with the builder ship, with the mining ship, and we'll take the drill and we will move this into position. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that the scanner's going to need colonists. I want to keep this kind of colonist free, as it were, for now, so that I can just slap it on an asteroid somewhere and not worry about it. Fill it up, fly it towards, or send with the cargo loading the stuff to the refinery, job done. So again, my recommendation, have colonists on as few ships as you really need them, I suppose. Again, this is my current idea, as it were, you know, on the fly a bit. Okay, so we maneuvered the drill close enough. We're going to be in front of this big iron node here, and we're going to click that button, and that's going to latch the drill onto the asteroid right where the iron is. Perfect. And then it's already engaged. And that's, it sounds like a heart valve or something. That may not be everybody's cup of tea, but we are now mining. Oh, we're also producing heat, which we're not able to vent at the moment. Do you know what I forgot? I forgot to put heat dissipation on this thing, so it's now shut down because of too much heat. Oh, I'm so silly. The whole concept with this game is around heat and threat. That's going to bring the aliens in. Amazing. Okay, so B, what can I build on here? Nothing for heat. I have to build it on the little ones. So, or I have to build another small. So let's build a small node array on the bottom. We have our lasers nearby. Nice. Fantastic. That's being energized. Oh, are we not close enough, or what's the deal here? Would have thought we were close enough. Could be wrong.
Scanners offline. Construction completed.
Alright, construction complete already anyway, in the time it took me to move that. Okay, so now that we have this extra... I had one on the top there, I didn't know, what a buffoon. Build, we're going to do a Tier 1 thermal radiator. There we go, that's going to get built by the laser nice and quick.
Construction completed.
That gives us a heat ceiling, as it were, of 360 to play with. That's good. Now we come out of build mode. We're going to click on the drill. We're going to re-engage it. That radiator should be enough to run that one drill by the looks of it, which is a little bit surprising. You'd think that would go over. Maybe it will. We have to be careful here, actually. Might add a second one on. We'll observe it for a moment. But yeah, there you go. So that is mining with the drill. It's listed as being much faster. Obviously, it doesn't involve any of the hauling aspect of it. And we've already gathered up 6 chunks, so 60 tons. There we go. So now the next thing would be, wait, we did a cargo bay. So I think we could right click the refining, click trade automation, choose from drill 1 to refining station 1, all chunks, amount, again I'm not sure if that bit matters, condition, as long as the drill has at least 1, when condition is met, repeat, set. does that. It does. So the tier 1 is creating the little packages and sending them across. And again, thanks to the commenters, because apparently those are just as efficient as the tier 2 ones now. So cheaper to build and only using a tier 1 node position. Geez, that dust being kicked off is a very cool effect, but makes it rather hard to see anything. If you zoom out, if you don't like that sound so much, you can just zoom a little bit away from it. And there you go, it's barely audible. There you go. So hopefully we've avoided a heat catastrophe. And yeah, if you want to add your scanner on there.
Low energy.
Oh, low energy. Okay. So we might have avoided a heat problem, but we haven't avoided a shutdown because of insufficient energy. So we have the one battery, but we don't have enough heat generation with these two. Okay, then let's get to the very last thing for part 3 that I wanted to include for you guys. Now, again, do this wherever you think is best for you, but I recommend at this point, before I let you cut you entirely loose and let you play through the rest of it, I recommend building a tier 2 research lab on the back of your constructor mining ship, whatever. And I recommend having this out and online in whichever sector you go to. Take this out of your mothership and have it nearby. Have it maybe defended by your commander or another weapons platform if you're going to be encountering aliens, or you're, you know, all pirates. You're not sure about the risk level, because it's very vulnerable. It's a large piece on a not very well armed ship in this current build. But to get this lab up and running as soon as you can, and we need some more iron actually, so funnily enough we're gonna have to go and get some more iron from here. Get that up and running as soon as possible, because it will start, it just generates research points over time. And the last thing I want to tease you with is have a look, take some time, have a look through the various options that you've got for new technology. For example, 5,000 credits and no research points actually would unlock tier 2 solar panels and be a significant step up from these tier 1s, and that's going to help you a lot. And if you're building bigger ships, tier 3 solar array, or go towards nuclear, you've got nuclear cores, nuclear reactors, that kind of thing. Also more heat dissipation. Mining, there's some exciting stuff in here. We've already got the drill unlocked for free. You've seen how to do that. There's tier 2 mining lasers, for example. Bigger batteries, bigger water storage, that kind of thing. Under industry, something that's going to be crucial going forward is tier 2 manufacturing, because that allows you to make all sorts of things, such as nuclear fuel for your commander ship if you want to run that off nuclear, or any of your other ships.
Warning, low energy.
There we go. Low energy warning, but that must be from this other ship, not from our ship. Yeah, we're gaining energy. Okay.
Warning, low energy.
Yeah, so this one is struggling with energy. So one of the things you could do is, again, the dust causes a bit of a shadow there. One of the things you could do is, once you've got the research points, you can see 10 points there. It's like 10 per cycle, I think. Once you have enough of that, then go for, well, in fact, we just looked at it, didn't we? The tier 2 solar panel might be a good option, because then you can get some better energy generation on your drill. Or you could be looking at things like bigger batteries, so on and so forth. But take your time, have a look through. Also look at what's been unlocked so far, and you can also use the search bar here too if you're looking for something specific. There we go. So that is big drill, refining, going to Jupiter, getting some additional technology, and making it safely back. I'm slightly disappointed I didn't get to show you the mothership and the risk that poses. But yeah, tune in maybe to one of my live streams where we'll be covering some more of this game through the course of the week and coming weeks and months, I'm sure. And maybe we'll learn some more things together. Good vibes. Hope you enjoyed it again, and take care till the next video, folks.
Warning, low energy.